In a digital universe overflowing with faces, filtered images, and fleeting trends, very few people manage to leave a mark that feels timeless. But the moment Vero Vixen appeared on the scene, something shifted. Her presence wasn't the kind that quietly blended into the crowd. It was the kind that awakened curiosity, challenged beauty standards, and inspired thousands to look at themselves with more compassion and more confidence. She didn't step into the spotlight by accident. She created her own light, and the world naturally turned to see it. Before we dive deep into the incredible rise of Vero Vixen, make sure you subscribe to Sweet Models World, the home of inspiring women, breathtaking journeys, and powerful stories of confidence and transformation. If you believe beauty comes in many forms, you belong here. If you believe self-love is a revolution, this is your home. Be part of a community that celebrates women like Vero Vixen, who refuse to shrink themselves for anyone. Vero's story begins like so many others, with a dream bigger than the world she grew up in. She wasn't handed opportunities. She wasn't born into luxury or the kind of environment that produces overnight success. Instead, she came from a place where dreams were often considered unrealistic, where life encouraged people to play it safe, fit in, and keep their ambitions small. But even as a young girl, Vero felt something in her spirit that refused to stay quiet. She always wanted more, not in a material sense, but in a human one. She wanted expression. She wanted freedom. She wanted to shape her own identity without fear, without apology, without limitations. Her love for fashion and visual storytelling came naturally. She saw clothing not just as fabric, but as emotion. Confidence woven into a dress, power stitched into a jacket, freedom expressed through color and style. She admired the glamorous world of modeling, the women who walked with elegance and strength, the art of posing, the creativity behind every shoot. But she also noticed something deeply unsettling. She didn't see herself in that world. The bodies were one type. The looks were one type. The beauty standard was painfully narrow. Representation was almost non-existent. Yet instead of turning away from her dream, she turned toward it with more determination. She didn't want to fit the standard. She wanted to challenge it. When she first stepped into the modeling world, she faced resistance. There were comments about her body, questions about her look, doubts about whether she belonged. In a field dominated by strict measurements and conventional expectations, Vero didn't match what the industry believed a model should be. She could have walked away then, but she didn't. She kept going. She held on to the belief that somewhere, somehow, there was a space for her voice, a space for her beauty, a space for women like her. She knew that if she didn't fight for that space, it would never exist. Instagram became her turning point. Rather than wait for the industry to change, she carved her own path. She started posting photos, bold photos, soft photos, stylish photos, vulnerable photos. She showcased her fashion sense, her curves, her charisma, and most importantly, her authenticity. While many people online tried to curate perfect, flawless versions of themselves, Vero chose to be real. Her confidence wasn't manufactured, it was earned. Every pose was a quiet rebellion against society's expectations. Every image was a message to women around the world. You do not need to be someone else to be worthy. Her audience grew fast, not because she followed trends, but because she created her own. People didn't just admire her outfits, they connected with her spirit. They saw a woman embracing herself fully and fearlessly. A woman who didn't exist to impress, but to inspire. Women from all walks of life began sending her heartfelt messages, sharing how her courage helped them see themselves differently. Teenagers battling insecurities, mothers rediscovering their beauty, young adults finding their identity. Vero became a reflection of hope for them all. As her influence expanded, brands began to notice something powerful. Vero didn't just have followers, she had impact. She didn't just create content, she created emotion. Her presence wasn't about promoting clothes, it was about promoting confidence. Companies wanted her not only for her aesthetic, but for her message. She became a model for brands that valued realness, diversity, and representation. She worked on campaigns that showcased boldness and vulnerability, strength and softness, proving that a model doesn't need to fit a mold to be unforgettable. But her rise wasn't without challenges. As with every woman who dares to stand out, Vero faced criticism, judgment, and negativity from strangers behind screens and from the industry itself. But she didn't let it break her. She learned to stand taller. She learned that strength isn't the absence of doubt. It's the decision to keep going despite it. She used every hateful comment as fuel, turning negativity into motivation. Her resilience became her armor. Her confidence became her weapon. Behind the scenes, she worked tirelessly. The glamorous photos tell only a fragment of her story. There were long nights of planning shoots, days spent balancing modeling with everyday responsibilities, and moments when she questioned her path. But through it all, she stayed consistent. She stayed hungry. She stayed authentic. That consistency is what built her career. Not luck, not convenience, but commitment. She believed in her purpose long before the world did. Vero's modeling career eventually evolved into something greater than pictures. It became a platform for empowerment. She began speaking boldly about self-worth, beauty standards, mental health, and the pressure that social media places on women. She reminded her followers that confidence is built, not granted. That comparison destroys joy. That authenticity is the most beautiful form of expression. She didn't want her audience to just admire her. She wanted them to admire themselves. Her message was simple but powerful. You are allowed to be exactly who you are. You are allowed to take up space. You are allowed to be beautiful on your own terms. As her influence grew, she became a voice not only for herself, but for a generation of women reclaiming their identity. Her honest approach, sharing the highs and the lows, helped people see the human behind the model. And that humanity is what made her unforgettable. She wasn't a fantasy. She was a mirror showing women what strength looks like. Today, Vero Vixen stands as a force in the modeling world, an example of what happens when resilience meets authenticity. She redefines beauty through presence, through confidence, through the courage to show up as herself. She represents a new era of modeling, not one shaped by impossible standards, but one shaped by diversity, individuality, and emotion. Her journey continues to unfold with every post, every campaign, every message she sends to her audience. But what remains constant is her purpose: to inspire, to empower, to remind the world that beauty expands the moment you stop limiting it. She continues to challenge the norms of the industry, pushing for more inclusivity, more representation, and more realness. And as long as she keeps using her voice, countless women will keep finding theirs. To every woman who follows her journey, Vero offers a guiding message. Your value is not measured by opinions, sizes, or comparisons. Your beauty is not defined by standards created by strangers. You are your own masterpiece, unique, powerful, irreplaceable. And the moment you embrace who you are fully, the world will have no choice but to see your light. If the journey of Vero Vixen inspires you, let it be a reminder that you are capable of rewriting your own story. You are capable of standing tall in your truth. And you are capable of becoming everything you once doubted you could be. Thank you for watching this powerful biography of a woman who rose by being real. A woman who built her confidence from the ground up and chose authenticity over approval every step of the way. To keep discovering stories of strong, confident, and groundbreaking women like Vero Vixen, make sure you subscribe to Sweet Models World. This is your place for inspiration, empowerment, and the celebration of beauty in all its forms. Every woman has a story worth telling, and every story deserves a world willing to listen.